Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower Saviors GNN news review video. It is time again for a new Calamitous stage to come up, and this week we have the Corrupted Chaos stage coming up. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we have this week. So this week we have, like I said before, a new Corrupted Seal Lord, as well as a new character and a new challenge mission. But I think the main headline for this is going to be the new Calamitous stage, which, as you know, it is one of the hardest stages in the games nowadays, with Calamitous Yoxotos being a major pain in my butt. But yeah, so this time we have the 9 Seal Lord Khaos, and we will get his Calamitous or Corrupted form. And typically Khaos by himself is already a pretty good card with a Time Tunnel and a second active skill. So I'm excited to see what the Corrupted Seal Lord will have for us, as well as the Dragonware that you can craft, because as you know, Yogg-Sothoth's Corrupted Dragonware is one of the best Dragonwares in the game, because it gives you 10 extra seconds movement time, which is actually kind of insane. So let's see. New Calamitous stage will come up and will return on the 9th of each month. That is normal. Every Calamitous stage returns every month on their respective day of the seal. So first seal is the first of the month, second seal, second, third seal, third, etc, etc, etc. So Khaos, being the 9th seal lord, will come back on the 9th of every month. There is a new restriction for Calamitous stage. Do they tell us what it is though? It does not. Oh, okay, there we go. Only members of the same attribute can enter the stage. So that is going to be interesting in terms of team building, and we will have to see how to deal with it. I can already predict some of the teams being like Monofire Napoleon or Monolight Una, things like that, you know. But yeah, you can get a Core of Doom, which will be needed for leveling up or power releasing Khaos into Corrupted Chaos, and so 3 extra for power release when you complete all achievements as well. Cool. So there we go. Leader skill. When the team has different racers, team attack times 20, HP and recovery times 2.5. All runestones also possess the effect of all attributive runestones. By dissolving one group of 9 or more runestones, team attack increases by 3 times additionally. This is actually not bad, because typically corrupted seal lords are not used as leaders, but they're used as allies. So having a baseline of team attack times 20, when the only condition is to have team of different races, is going to be really easy, because you only need one different race member in the team in order to proc this leader skill. And so, for example, if you're running Una with just one demon and one god, this already activates. Nula with one demon in the team, that also activates. So it is going to be a really easy condition and also a really good ally, specifically for Madhead original cards that have team skills that activate when they only have the leader as your teammate. And so it doesn't matter what ally you have, and this is a good candidate because a baseline times 20 is going to be pretty good, and you also get a times 3 additionally if you have a group of 9 or more runestones, which is going to be hard, not going to lie, for certain teams, because it's not easy to generate 9 additional runestones of a certain attribute. But you know, it could potentially be a good ally for Una, since she generates a trail of the runestone that you're moving. But honestly, running Una with Nula as an ally might still be better. Let's take a look at his team skill though, to see if we have anything. We have the Nucleus, which is going to be the team skill that he activates when he's passively on the team. When upon receiving 5 attacks from enemies, the Nucleus open. And when a member of Corrupted Seal Lords activates the skill, the Nucleus closes. When the Nucleus is closed, runestone movement time increases by 1.5. And when it is open, you turn the column below the character into enchanted runestones each round, and you have a black and white zone. And honestly, these corrupted team skills or nucleus team skills are not that great, But Madhead has recently included cards that benefit from black and white zones. And so like Sukuna, for example, from the Jujutsu Kaisen series. And so this is a kind of good way to activate a black and white zone at will without having to rely on the enemy having a black and white skill, you know? So this, I see some uses, but the effects are kinda not great, especially when the only effect is to turn the column below the character into enchanted runestones each round. But yeah, when the leader is Khaos, extend runestone movement time regardlessly by 9 seconds. 9 seal, 9 seconds, very nice. 8 star members, HP, attack, and recovery basic value increases by 4 times. Skill CD -4 after entering the stage, and turn the 9 runestones touch while moving into enchanted runestones of the type and race used to start the first runestone movement. When the black and white zone is in play, team attack ×2. Okay, cool. So this one is going to be pretty nice and plays nicely with the nuclear skill, but let's talk about his leader team skills. By all means, these are not bad team skills, except that when you're dealing with harder content and endgame stages, this team skill is not going to be enough. It is very nice to have 9 seconds extra movement time. It is very nice to have a ×4 boost to all your attributes. And it is also very nice to generate 9 runestones touch while moving into enchanted runestones of the type and attribute that you moved. Especially because it helps you proc the 9 runestone requirement for his leader skill, right? However, there is no shield break or utility left in this team skill. And here's the thing, a lot of stages or a lot of enemies have different shields that you need to break, and if you're generating 9 runestones of the same type, it is going to be hard to break certain types of shield, for example equal combo shield, fixed combo shield, quintet elemental shield, etc, etc, etc. So if you don't have that type of utility inside your team skill, then transforming or turning the first 9 runestones into one single type tends to not be a great team skill if you don't have those shield breaking skills to accompany it. So overall, I do think that him as a leader is not going to be much help to your account, because as I said before, corrupted seal lords are not great as leaders, but they are great as allies because of their high base leader multipliers. But yeah, so now that we've talked about his leader potential being not that great, let's go into the real reason that you would power release Khaos, which is going to be using him for his active skill. And he does have 2 active skills just like his non-corrupted counterpart, and one of them is going to be CD6. Explode all runes to generate enchanted runes of fixed numbers and fixed positions, and for 1 round, record the distribution of runestones upon the end of runestone movement, including the effect of raised runestones and enchanted runes, and after dissolving runestones, the first batch of runes to be dropped will be the recorded runestones. At the end of the round, runestones will be restored to record the distribution. Honestly, this active skill is actually really good, especially because it generates a fixed board for you, and it gives you 2 instances of this fixed board. One as first batch skydrop, as well as at the end of the round it gives you that fixed board back. And let me tell you, this type of active skill is very useful, especially for certain enemy skills where you need to have a certain number of runestones or back-to-back all runestone shield clearing. So this is going to be really good, especially on CD6. That is going to be an amazing active skill to have. For his second active skill, this one's a little bit longer. It's going to be CD8. It removes Tornado and restores all cracked positions. And for 1 round, all members have a 2 times attack increase, and damage will be dealt regardless of enemy specific damage reducing resistance. For each group of runestone dissolved, 9 runestones of that type will be generated, to the max of 27 runestones to be generated for each type. This is going to be very, very powerful, because if you do 3 combos, that's a guaranteed 9 or 27 extra skydrop of that type. And if you, for example, have something like a single dissolve or a 2 dissolve, those count as more runestones or more groups of runestones of certain type. So for example, if you run Napoleon with his single dissolve, means that you are going to get a bunch of skydrop from these this active skill. And not only do you have a 2 times attack increase, but this skydrop that you're going to get is going to significantly increase your attack for that round. And that is going to be a really good active skill. And at CD8, I think it's pretty respectable because it also restores cracked positions. And cracked positions are one of the more annoying enemy skills to deal with because they cannot be removed by traditional board hazard counters like exploding or removing. You actually have to have a specific cracked position counter in order to deal with it. So having that is going to be very good. So overall, I think both of his active skills are pretty good, and he might actually be one of the corrupted seal lords that I do recommend you have in your inventory because both his active skills are very useful. I know the other one, or the normal Chaos, gives you 3 rows and extend the runestone movement time, which is also good, but I think personally these ones are not bad active skills, and I personally will have one copy of him in my inventory because his active skills are very useful. Now moving on, we have the corrupted dragonware that will be created by using corrupted chaos as the materials for this dragonware. And as I said before, Yogg-Sothoth's dragonware is completely broken and one of the best dragonwares in the game. So let's see what we have in store for corrupted chaos's corrupted dragonware. So this is going to be a gods only dragonware, and we have the following skills. By dissolving a group of 9 or more runestones, the character's attack increases by 1.8 times. By dissolving 6 types of runestones, the character attack increases by 2 times additionally, and the character's damage will be dealt regardless of corruption. For the craft skill, 1 round, team attack increases by 20%, the leader launches 5 extra attacks of 1 attribute each, and CDs of all enemies will be delayed for 2 rounds. Wow, okay, I was going to say that this dragonware is not that great compared to Yogg-Sothoth's because his dragonware skills they're good multipliers, but overall it's not that great. So for his multipliers, dragonware multipliers, he has good multipliers. 1.8 and times 2 is a very good attack bonus. But here's the thing, the condition for that is not as easy as other dragonware skills. For example, some of other dragonware skills are activate active skill or dissolve 4 runestones of a certain type. So dissolving a group of 9, while it is nice if you have that specific type of team skill to generate 9 runestones, it's not that easy to generate. And by dissolving 6 or more types of runestones, the character attack increases by 2. It's also not that easy because you are very prone to runestone drought, and it is not going to be that controllable. And certain conversion skills, for example the most recent one, Napoleon, does not generate heart runes, which means that you only have 5 types and you will not be able to proc this type of active skill, or dragonware skill. So overall in the dragonware skill department, it is not that great of a dragonware. However, where he really shines is going to be in this craft skill. CDs of enemies will be delayed for 2 rounds. And Chaos Craft is one of the most used dragon crafts in the game because of the CD delay for 2 rounds. This is a no-nonsense 2-round delay on the enemy, which bypasses uncontrollable and also bypasses other types of enemy counters. So it is a very good option to have because it gives you pretty much a get out of jail free card, because it gives you 2 extra turns to kill the enemy, and it also allows you to survive if you messed up breaking a shield. For example, if you realize you didn't hit the condition, you can activate the craft to delay the enemy and have it not kill you and have another round to go at it. So this delay for 2 rounds is actually really good. And if you don't have the regular Chaos Dragon craft, I would recommend getting this one. However, if you do have that craft, don't get it because this is only gods only. The other craft is for everyone. So if you already have it, then there's no really a reason to get this one, because you only want to equip it on your leader in order to be able to benefit from this skill. And if you already have that one to delay enemies for 2 rounds, then this craft is not that useful. The only other reason you would get it is for this extra 5 attacks, 1 attribute each, because of 5 element shields nowadays, where the enemy only takes damage if it receives damage from all 5 elements. And for example, if we have a condition like Chaos Calamitous Stage where you can only run a mono element team, if you encounter an enemy that requires you to deal 5 elemental types, a mono team is going to have a hard time unless you bring active skills that specifically deal 5 extra attacks of 1 attribute each. However, with this craft, you can bypass that and just have it on your craft skill. That being said though, if you pull in the collector seal and get Ririnko, she is an amazing card that gives you this and more. So honestly, all in all, I don't think you need this corrupted dragonware. You can, if you are in need of corrupted dragonwares for to ignore the calamitous stage debuffs where you need calamitous dragonwares or corrupted dragonwares, I'd say go for Odin's one because he's easier to farm. And I don't know, I would personally keep Corrupted Chaos as a card, as a monster, because he's very useful as opposed to converting him into a dragonware. Of course, if you have the time and materials, get one for dragonware and get a second one to have his skill, but keep in mind that is 6 cores of doom that I don't know if you want to spend on that. But yeah, so that is all for the Corrupted Dragonware and the Corrupted 9th Seal boss. And we have a new evoking coin shop which is going to introduce the reskin of Yingzhen. This is going to be a water demon card and has a CD6 skill and the following effect: explode all runes, frozen and petrified runes, and by tapping a runestone on the magic circle of elements 2 times, turn odd runes into enchanted runestones of the first type, and even runes into demon runestones of the second type tapped. So basically this is a watered down version of Yingzhen's normal skill, and honestly it's not a bad thing to have, especially because it is free to play and you can get it from the evoking coin shop, and that is pretty good, especially because it is a very useful skill to explode all runes as well as frozen and petrified to generate 15 runes of 2 types that you want. And not only does it give you a fixed board, it also gives you the ability to deal with 15/15 shields, which are uncommon. They don't show up that often, but when they do, you need something like a time tunnel in order to deal with it. And most recently, there was the ultimate stage that required you to dissolve 15 light and 15 dark with no metaspheres, right? So normally the enemies give you metaspheres to generate those runestones that you're missing, so you can deal with it with time tunnel. But in this case, it did not give us that. Granted, it was cumulative, so it didn't have to be in 1 round, but it is pretty annoying to not be able to use time tunnel to get past those enemies. However, with this card, you can just tap those 2 runestones that you need, and you'll have 15 of the type that you need and 15 of the other type that you need, neatly arranged into a fixed board. At CD6, that is a pretty good skill, and I do recommend getting him if you don't have regular Yingzhen, since he is a black gold card. However, even if you have regular Yingzhen, the attribute difference in this card will further your team building options by giving you more attributes and more flexibility when dealing with achievements, especially monotype achievements. Okay, so next thing we have a new challenge mission, which is going to be Summers on the Red Carpet, which will feature the 5 cards from the newest collector seal. Oh, there's no more information about that. But basically, yeah, you do the challenge mission and you get rewards such as Quintet Madheads and Harpy Knight's Madhead by clearing the stage. And we are reaching the end of the month, which means a new monthly challenge will be up for grabs, which is the July challenge. If you're like me and you procrastinate your monthly challenges, make sure you do the June ones. At least do floor 7, 8, and 9 because those are pretty good rewards. Floor 10 tends to be harder but also very worth doing, especially because it gives you pretty good rewards as well. But yeah, so that is going to be all for this week's GNN review. And just to recap, we have a new Calamitous stage featuring the 9th Corrupted Seal Lord, Khaos, which with the requirement for the stage to be a mono element team, which means that you are probably going to see a mono fire Napoleon and mono light Una dominate the leaderboards, but that is just speculation. As a leader, we have a pretty good leader skill with a very good multiplier, which is going to make him a really good ally, especially for cards that only require your leader to trigger their team skill. However, as a leader potential, this Corrupted Seal Lord is going to be similar to the other ones, where it doesn't have that much potential to be used as a leader because of the lack of utility in his team skill. However, as a member with his dual active skills, he does actually provide a lot of value to your account, with his first skill giving you a fixed board for 2 rounds and guaranteed skydrop at a very reasonable CD6, which is very good. His second active skill is a little bit slower at CD8, however it does provide a good amount of damage increase as well as certain utility, removing tornado and crack positions, the latter being a very specific counter that you need whenever those do show up. Since crack positions are kind of annoying to deal with, having this active skill is going to be very useful. And his damage increase potential with this active skill is actually really good as well, with a ×2 attack bonus and a damage reducing resistance counter, as well as a lot of guaranteed skydrop per group of runestone that you dissolve. If you pair this up with a double or single dissolve, you are going to get a disgusting amount of skydrop, and it is going to increase your damage by a lot. Next, we have the Corrupted Dragonware for using Corrupted Chaos as material. In my opinion, I don't think this is worth going for, and I would personally recommend keeping Chaos as a card in order to benefit from his active skills. His Dragonware does provide with a very generous multiplier on his Dragonware skills. However, the conditions for those multipliers are honestly a little bit annoying and not that easy to achieve in normal gameplay. However, if you do get a very generous damage increase from this Dragonware. In terms of his Dragoncraft skills, the skills are very useful, with the 5 extra attacks of 1 attribute each, helping you counter 5 elemental enemy shields, and also having a CD2 delay on all enemies, which is one of the best craft skills in the game. However, keep in mind this is only for gods only, and if you already have the regular chaos craft, then you don't really need to craft this Dragonware because you already have that CD reduction for 2 rounds, and that craft is applicable to every single card in the game as opposed to this Dragonware. If you do require a god corrupted Dragoncraft for, I don't know, certain stages, I would recommend getting the Odin one or the Lucifer one, because I do personally believe that Corrupted Chaos is a very good member and you should have him in your inventory, unless you have the time and resources to get 2 of them and generate a craft and a dual max copy of him. Next, we have a new Evoking Coin Shop character, which is going to be Majesty of Ovation Yingzhen, which is going to be a Water Demon reskin with the same active skill as regular Yingzhen. Well, same, but a little bit weaker. But honestly, this active skill is very good in terms of exploding all runes and generating 15 and 15 runes of your choosing, and allows you to help counter certain enemy skills, and it is a very good addition to your inventory, especially because it is a free-to-play card from the evoking shop. You just need to achieve your monthly missions to get evoking coins and buy it in the shop. Next we have the challenge mission, which will feature the 5 cards from the collector's seal and give you pretty nice rewards such as Quintet Madheads and Harpy Knight Madhead. Last but not least, the month is ending, so we will be having a new July challenge. And make sure you do finish that June challenge before it goes away, and do not procrastinate it as much as I do. But yeah, that is going to be all for this week's GNN news. And as always, let me know in the comments if I missed out on anything or if I said anything wrong. As always, I post Towers of Years content on my YouTube channel, so keep your eyes out open for that. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!
胜利，大师的初心，感动永远铭记。